Hey everybody, CaliAir here. I just picked up. Well, you guys already. Well, maybe you haven't seen this. I can't keep it straight, but this is a 1980s Red Ryder, 1939, right? No, 1938B they call it. That's right. Kind of confusing because they didn't come out the Red Ryder until 1940. And we all know that the 1939 model was actually the Lightning Loader. Yeah, we all know that, right? So, pardon me. And, oh, that's why one dropped out. Only one dropped out. It was lucky for me. It didn't close that gate. So yeah, that's one of the indicators that this is sort of an early or later version, you know, with the side gate here, where you put the BBs in. Usually, right? They used to go into a little hole, just like this, right? You used to go into a hole and you just turn the barrel, put in a hole, and then of course some of the single shots you just put the BB into the barrel, and then cock it. It holds it into place as you shoot. This, by the way, is the just got this today. It's the 102, 1936. Can't tell if it's blued or nickeled. It's kind of heavily, I think, maybe nickeled, but then some parts make me think it's blued. I don't know. But the 102s, the original 102s came out in 1933, and I'm still trying to get my hands on a 1933. But some of the older ones, I'm a little bit persnickety with. I want them to work, and I kind of want them to look pretty, right? But this is a 1936. What does it say there? 500 shot. And cast iron lever. Yeah, it's not aluminum, or I don't think it is. And this is in like I said, I just got this pretty nasty condition, but in good working condition. That's supposed to. Let's see. Nope, missed. It's not shooting consistent. I have a funny feeling if I clean this, it will start shooting consistently. There we go. And that's at about 15 yards out. Now, as you guys may also know, most of these guns, most of the guns that I get, the daisy guns, with a good amount of Kentucky windage, I can hit out at 50 yards. This hasn't gone through the 50-yard test. The new, this is a commemorative, by the way, the 1938 Red Ryder that never existed, right? 1939 was the Lightning Loader, and 1940 the Red Ryder. Maybe somebody can tell us what's up with that. But this is a 1988, so a 50-year commemorative with a plastic, boy, they're commemorating with a plastic lever, depending on how you like to say that. But you know what? I'm not really complaining. This plastic lever action works just fine, and hasn't concerned me about breaking yet. So, missing the sight elevator, but it doesn't need it. So if I come across one, I'll probably pick it up. I'm trying to hit out at more like 25 yards now. There we go. Oops. Let's focus on the new guy. Yeah, the 102. Now, what's interesting about the 102 is this is sort of the daisy for a dollar, daisy for a buck. It was a Depression era, and Daisy didn't have seemingly the same problems that a lot of other companies had during the Depression. Probably because they did well with the war contracts. Oh man, it's not shooting. Consistent. No. Oh, there we go. Starting to see it at least. Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, there's something in there that probably needs to be cleared because they're sort of going all over the place. I still have, before I shot, was able to kind of hit out at about 25 yards. Maybe 30 yards, I'd say. See if we could hit this. There we go. Yeah, it's 30 yards with an unclean, just right out of the box, all nasty and whatnot. So this will clean up nicely. I don't know if this will clean up nicely, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty good shooter once cleaned up. Imagine a daisy for a buck. I think they're even sold cheaper than that at some point. Well, of course, right? 1920s, 1910s, 1920s, they were probably selling for more like 50 cents or 75 cents. I don't know. I should know. Ooh. So a lot of times, you know, I'm not going to, I haven't oiled this yet. Haven't cleaned it up. But I like to just run, as long as it doesn't smell like it's dieseling. It doesn't smell like it's dieseling at all. So as long as it's not dieseling, I like to run a good amount of rounds through it, because a lot of times that will help to clean it up alone, you know. So what do I like about this gun is, look at this sight. Look at the sight on that. Man, that is a solid sight. Same thing with this front sight. That is nice and solid. And that's what I like about these. You know, they can get knocked about and thrown around and really withstand a lot of abuse. So I really like these kinds of sights. You know, I'm not really looking for great accuracy with these. I'm just plinking. And so, yeah, that works out nicely. Here we go. Let's see if we can hit the Aboriginal again. Oh, flyer. Get closer. Oh man, flying way above. Let's give that one a rest. And then let's just make sure it's not my eyes right now. We'll use the 1938B from 1988. There we go. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad. I think there's a little bird on there, on his head. Wow. Yeah, the animals around here are not the least bit intimidated by my shooting in my at my range here. And they seem to be comforted that I will not shoot at them. And all right, but hey, guy, I'm gonna start shooting over here. All right, so there you go. It's a hummingbird. I'm pretty sure it's it looks like a red hummingbird. Can you guys see that? All right. There you go. Yeah, it's more like 25 yards. 30, 25, 30 yards. Now let's try to hit the 40 yard. This is where you're really pushing the envelope of what a BB gun should be able to do, or at least in my opinion. Oh. There we go. Yeah. I'm not going to say this Red Ryder 1938B is my favorite shooter, but it's a good shooter. Yeah, I mean it's only a hair or two less of my favorite shooter, which is the A Christmas Story Red Ryder, the brand new one, which I put that one in the safe for a while. And I have to give attention to these new guns that are coming in. Like I said, what's really great about this, like anybody could get into this market, you know. If you have an extra 20 bucks a month, you can pick yourself up. Got it again. So again, 40 yards. Hitting out at 40 yards. That's great. Speaking of like $20 primes, I think it was like 15 bucks. Yeah. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the... Guys, see it? The Daisy 188. I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable with my finds in the pistol department. It's really hard to find a Springer, decent Springers in pistol form. And lo and behold, I guess Daisy made them earlier, made them some time ago. I think this might be a 1950s. And I really don't know a lot of history on the model 188. This particular one's made in Rogers. I do know that they make a version of this that shoots a BB and a pellet. This is BBs only. See, it says it right there. And these things are really cool. I'm afraid to let the cat out of the bag. So I want to see these go up in price and whatnot. But I think I got this for like, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks, something like that. And the thing is great. Well, it's it's what I'm shooting these days. So I've been able to pick up some really interesting pistols. The Boone, which was surprisingly good, or erratic, but when it hit, it hit. Of course, the marksman, been picking up a few marksmans, and they're kind of interesting. I have one, I believe it's the LA model that is shooting nicely. The Beverly Hills isn't functioning very well. Los Angeles model, the early Los Angeles model isn't working very well, but the Los Angeles 25 is working well. It fits nicely into a 45 holster. But we're talking really close range here with the marksman. I don't know if I'm hitting out. I don't recall if I can hit out at 20 yards with the marksman. Yeah, I think it drops too early. But this is hitting out at, I'd say, 25, 30 yards with, of course, the proper corrections. This, let's load it. I think it takes about 20 or so. Now, I don't really know if there are any guns, firearms that is, that operate even remotely like this. There's one of the 22s. They're kind of big and bulky like this. But if you don't mind that, then I think this is quite a superb shooter. I wasn't even counting, but that's how many fits. So it's a very unique. You cock it like this. I know there's a lot of rifles set up like this. Kind of interesting. And then it sets you up. Push that in, and let's see what we can get. About 10, 15 yards. There, no problem. About 15 yards. Oops. Not a problem. And about 20 yards. Oh, I did not load properly. Okay, this might be a double feed. My bad though. Here we go. There it is, 25. Let's see if we can really push the envelope. Mr. Hummingbird, you were on my target. Okay, I'll just see if I hit the thing next to it. Oh, man. There we go. So this is the thing you have to remember. You cock it and then you load it. So it's a little backwards, but it's okay. For the fun factor, I can live with that. Oh, so close. And the hummingbird is just hanging out. Now, this is so low velocity, I don't even think it could hurt a hummingbird, but I'm not gonna. Look at shoot, Mr. Hummingbird. Oh, I got, I got. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm overcompensating. There we go, Mr. Hummingbird. No, that's not a hummingbird. That's a dragonfly. All right. I think we might have a double feed. That looked like a double feed, didn't it? Oh yeah, that was double feed. Oh. There's Mr. Hummingbird. Or Mrs. Hummingbird. So as you can see, hitting out at about 25, 30 yards can get very challenging. Did I just hit the dragonfly? No, he's hanging out on his head. Okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah. But, you know, to be honest, as good of a shot I am, which, you know, I don't think I'm a great shot at it or anything. There it is. Yeah. I would have a hard time hitting that target with a firearm. So it really is relative. You know, we're talking a very small target out there at about 25 yards, 30, 25, 30 yards, something like that. So, let's see, are we done here? Yeah, that's it. These things are so quiet. It's phenomenal. All right, so what I want to talk to you about regarding this, nothing. It's just these things are so. I think I got this for $20, you know. And after I clean it up, it's going to be a good shooter. You know, it's not going to take much either, right? Just pipe cleaner in there, get out any gunk that's just sort of throwing the BB off, and then oil. Drop some oil down in the barrel and oil and grease these areas, and then I might give some an oil and maybe try to get any of the rust on here. Maybe try to remove that, but you really that's where you got to watch out, because you can then start you know, degrading the gun. But I'll give it a try. First the oil, see how much oil, let the oil sit on there, the CP, you know, what else works on there? 3, what do you call that? WD-40, there it is. Yeah, WD-40, you can put that on, not on the inside, on the piston, but on the outside. Put some WD-40 and let it sit, and then just wipe it off. Then use that, not number 3, but number 4 steel wool, and use it very lightly. Yeah, if I feel the need to get even more of it off. Mostly just so we can see what is it. Is it blued or is it nickeled? I think it's blued. Now, oh, that's something to see. These guns are so cheap. Look, they're literally coming apart at the seams. And so then the more expensive guns that they put out, you'll see a nice little band under here that I don't think it holds the air in so much. Maybe it does, but I don't think it holds the air in as much as it really just helps to keep more of the gun together. I could be wrong on that, though. Maybe there is a whole mechanism in there um, that's kept airtight by that strip of metal. Um, Buzz Barton's, the 1930, the Model 33 Buzz Bartons. Yeah, they have that band underneath. And so do several other, to my surprise, so do several other daisies have that metal band underneath. Of course, with the Model 25 daisies, you can find that little underneath band weld. You know, you have an early or vintage number 25. All right, so let's get back to shooting the good old Red Ryder, 1938, 50th anniversary, 1988 reissue. Bam. Okay, this is, okay, we'll do something exciting. Just because you're visiting, we'll do something exciting. Try to hit at 50 yards. First 40 yards. Now what's interesting about this 40-yard shot is there's a little bush in front. But because of the trajectory, a lot of times I can hit it. We have some wind too right now. Nope. There we go. I don't know about you, but I'm so stupidly impressed by that. Old plastic handled 1988 reissue of Red Ryder hitting out at 40 yards like that. Unbelievable. All right, so now there is a shovel head out at 50 yards, and I can just about see it through the trees. And I don't know, I think there's too much debris. But if the wind blows, I might be able to hit it. Right there. Nope. Almost. This ain't horseshoes. Okay, now I can't even see it. All right, let's see. Got it. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Hitting out at 50 yards. And what's interesting about this, I don't see any made in China, so this is like rather wasn't made in China, or just parts were maybe made in China. I don't know. Rogers USA. I don't have many Rogers guns. Most of the guns I collect are Plymouth. But truth be told, the ones I shoot the most are Rogers and of course the Chinese. The Chinese buck. Chinese buck is one that I like to shoot almost every day. Jeez. He's missing out at 40. Yeah, I'm not trying to hit the 50 anymore. Too much luck involved there. There we go. Something I find fascinating with shooting and plinking Yeah, I used to do target, and yeah, of course, the martial artists have done a lot of tactical training with firearms and stuff. But man, plinking with a BB gun has kind of taken it to a whole nother level, which is kind of funny, of course, because we usually equate BB guns with kids. But the original air guns weren't for kids, even the lower velocity ones. That was a hit. Now, it's interesting. If you can get a shooter that, and what I mean by shooter is something that just hits consistently. So it doesn't have to be, constantly hits point of aim or shoots straight even. If you can predict its path, and then it's a good shooter, at least in my book. That's nice. It has a nice little trigger safety, right? There is something very interesting about lining up the sight, seeing the front sight, and then allowing the front sight to disappear, looking at your target, and then almost willing, and it didn't work that time, almost willing a solid hit. You're almost willing to strike. I'm not doing any of what I'm saying. Airball. Yeah. Okay. I'm doing what I'm saying, seeing what I'm missing. See, if you can see where you're missing, then it really allows you to predict the path, like so. But there's another element. It almost feels if I don't it's like how can I say the slit test in particle physics. That's what I'm trying to make a correlation with, and how an observed atom behaves differently than an unobserved atom. It almost seems like something like that is at play. If that makes any sense. Oh, geez. I'm missing at 40 in grand style. In many ways, this 40-yard target seems to be the hardest. I don't know if it's me that's having a hard time hitting out at 40, or the gun, the flight path being sort of wonky at 40. I just think it's me. I think it's me not being able to hit it out at 40. Oh, there we go. There's some consistency there. Now this, what I'm really enjoying about this is look how easy that cocks. I could probably even keep it shouldered and cock it. That's not bad. Ooh, watch that one. Sometimes you will them and they don't listen, huh? I keep willing it to go, but it just ain't doing it. A disobedient atom. Oh, jeez. Airball. All right, let's hit something close up. There we go. This one did not come with a leather toggle, no leather strap. I wonder, perhaps someone can tell me, is there something on the other side of this coin? Mystery. All right. That's it today, guys. Until next time, keep on shooting.